What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Parrot Press. Today's video is all about Premier League limited cards and my 2-year plan on playing limited and playing with these Premier League cards to see whether I can get some good return of investment and you know, have some fun along the way. Now, last time I left you, I picked up these cards. You know, I started that limited journey picking up Dean Henderson, Porro, Maddison, Eze, Son, and I think it might have been somebody like Richarlison or whatever, just to boost up some of the XP on these cards. And my first thing was, look, I'm just going to go out there and buy some of the best, or what I think is best value, but some of the best limited Premier League cards out there, and try and play in season and try and get some money back, rewards back, etc. And that's kind of why I went out and instant bought or was on the auction for some of these cards. Now, I haven't, you know, spoiler alert, I then started a Tottenham collection, right? And I probably didn't play this right in terms of buying the on the market ones, the early access ones, without using the auction or instant buys, so that I got the XP, etc. And I should have done that on lower value cards and I would have saved some money. But listen, that weren't the plan, and then it turned into the plan. Here's where we are. So originally, game week 1 of the Premier League, this is the team that I put out there. 135th, I was obviously starting in Division 5, and not the worst score in the world, you know, 359. Porro got his goal, Maddison got an assist. They had captain bonus on Maddison, but Brentford did win against Crystal Palace. I think Eze had a big chance miss, etc. And Son wasn't too much in the game actually against Leicester. But anyway, this did win me my first box. Now, since then, we are going into, how many game weeks have we had? 3 or 4? Obviously, we're in the international break, and I can't really remember what that box got me, but I'm pretty sure it was some essence. But since then, after this game week, I did start to think, well, what am I going to do with limited? Why not just go all in it? Because with limited, I have found that the kind of £1,500 in terms of Division 1 prize money for finishing first is actually really appealing. You know, you can get some cheaper cards in the limited region. I can build some of those stacks. Exactly the reasons why I said in the other video that I've already put out there as to why I'm playing the limited. But I thought, well, why just have one lineup? Why not just play it? I'm going to be watching it all season. Let's pick up some of the cards in another video that I mentioned about if I was playing Premier League, these are the cards that I'd pick up. Well, I actually went out there and started to pick up some of these cards. Now, you'll see here Dean Henderson I already picked up, but Bird Leno comes in, the Fulham goalkeeper, really capable of AA, etc. that I've already spoken about. And then since then, I've also picked up Vicario. So they are my 3 main goalkeepers. You'll see here Brandon Austin, you'll see Forster. That is purely because of collection bonus, collection XP on that Tottenham collection. And then this Kieran Slicker is a card that I think I won from a Rivals box or something. But that makes up my goalkeepers. And with all of this, at the end of it, I'm going to kind of tot up as to how much I spent on all of these cards. And I think that I've probably got maybe 2 or 3 more to come in. And I'm kind of going to be settled unless something drastic happens through the season. And I'm just going to see what I can get back off these cards. Now, if we move over to defenders, Reguilón again is a collection bonus. Dragusin is a little bit of both because I do think that he's going to be playing in Europe. And although I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to kind of just focus on Premier League in terms of what I shared to you guys in terms of how much that I've won from them, the boxes, etc. So the 38 game weeks, or I'm going to kind of bring in the European nights, because that's another reason. Yes, I'm a Spurs fan, but it's another reason why I bought some of these cards is because they are going to be playing in on that Thursday night in Europa League, etc. Dragusin will play. Ben Davies might get a gig. I mean, Reguilón looks like he's been kind of cast aside, but these players will play, so it does stand me in good stead for those game weeks. But also Anderson's just made that, what is it, £30 million move. from Crystal Palace to Fulham. So that steads me in good luck, actually, although I've got them focusing on Crystal Palace as well. But good luck in terms of I've got that Leno. So that's a nice little stack there. Surprising one, Spence has actually just been left out of the squad for Tottenham in terms of Europa League. A really surprising one, but picked him up quite cheap as well. Porro already have, and Daniel Munoz comes in as well. I think that they're two of the best, apart from maybe Trent, best of the right back scorers in the Premier League for Sorare. I think that their game's kind of made for it. And another thing is that Munoz plays for Colombia. I'm using him this game week, which I will show at the end of the video as to what I'm going into this international game week with. But they're my defenders. So moving on to midfielders, and this is where I think that I'm a touch light. I've brought in the old school, the classic, fucking I'll get your words right, but classic Kevin De Bruyne. And I'm not going to be able to afford, or I could afford, but I'd rather invest that elsewhere, because you can still play force in season with one classic. So Kevin De Bruyne comes in as that kind of differential. And my original plan on all of this was to play something like Vicario and Porro, Kevin De Bruyne, and then Maddison and Son, because I wasn't planning on going out and getting the 4 or 5% Tottenham collection. And when I'm going against players that have got that, obviously I'm going to lose if we're playing in the same lineup. So Kevin De Bruyne being my differential, and I think I might go out there and try and pick up a classic Rodri. It might be a classic Salah, a classic Cole Palmer, those type of players, and then just do that 4-on-1 if I'm going to be stacking. And then I'd only really stack them on the Europa nights if there's a special and things like that. But we'll see in terms of game weeks. And obviously now I have went out and got the collection bonus, so it might stand me in good stead anyway. But Emil Smith-Rowe comes in to kind of complete that Fulham spine, I suppose, with the goalkeeper, the centre-back in terms of Anderson and Smith-Rowe. Basuma's in there for collection, but also he does score well. You see here he had the 84 there. He gets some decent AA, and again, he's going to be playing in Europa League. Maddison we already have, but Eze comes in as well. And the good thing about this is that when I bought Eze, there was that promotion thing on where you get another card or potentially market credits or a box or whatever the deal was. I bought Eze instantly, and then I won another Eze for free. So I sold him for £40, I think it was, and it funded some of the other purchases in here. So that was a good piece of luck, and it's probably another reason why I went out there and instant bought or bought them on the auction as well, is because you never know what was going to happen in terms of you get some essence, you get people were pulling Mbappe and things like that. So yeah, I managed to. I'll come on to that in a minute, actually, in terms of who I pulled. So Eze comes in. So moving on to the forwards, Brennan Johnson and Odobert at Spurs, again collection bonus, but they are two players that are definitely going to play. I've just got to work out as to when they're going to be playing. Iwobi comes in, and that was a last minute buy actually, just to get some lineups out for the last game week, but it made kind of sense. He had a good fixture. Didn't do amazingly, but to pair with Smith-Rowe. Hudson-Odoi comes in as an AA forward. Another bit of a kind of differential in terms of a stack. It could be I run with the Fulham guys, and then instead of Iwobi, I put in Hudson-Odoi depending on the fixture. Munez comes in as well, another Fulham striker if I wanted to run through that stack. Solanke, really annoying with Solanke because I bought him for £51 there that you can see. And then I didn't realise that he was actually not training that week. I had a mad week at work, and he's been out since. So I'm hoping he comes back quite sharpish, really, because it's really frustrating. Richarlison for collection, and also he will be playing in the midweeks, and then Son, as we've already spoken about. So I do think that I'm missing one or two classic cards to be the differential, the actual really kind of hard-hitting Rodri's, as I said, Salah's, the actual cream of the crop, so to speak, and maybe another in-season defender to come in here as well. So yeah, as I said at the beginning, we're about 2 or 3, whatever I said, cards away from finishing this collection of limited cards that I'm going to run all year. Now, I'm summed this up what I've spent so far, and I've actually spent around £650 on these collections, but they're not collections. Maybe the Spurs collection obviously is, but and what's it done since? So I showed you the result here that I had on game week 1. What have I had since then? And I know that I'm probably a little bit all over the place in this video, but I've just hit record and I'm just going to talk. Coming down here into the in-season. So we had this one here, which was a little bit unlucky because De Bruyne delivered, Maddison done okay, but Solanke, this is what I was talking about, didn't actually start. So I still finished, obviously I got promoted from the other one that I showed you, but I still finished 210th, so I was safe. I couldn't get promoted, and I think I won a box on this as well. But if Solanke would have played, I mean, Spurs won 4-0, so you'd like to think that he would have got a decisive there, and I could have finished maybe in the top 100, got a better box, maybe got a bit of cash. I can't remember what they are in terms of what they actually pay out for. And then Fulham, I didn't expect to concede against Leicester as well. But Leno, as what I've said before, he still comes in with the AA, which is decent. Then we've got this one here, which Crystal Palace got beat at home, so not good there. But Son come in with the 2 goals, Smith Rowe come in with the 2 goal with a decisive as well. So that again could have been different if Palace actually turned up at home. And then did I have another one at that point? I don't think I did at that point. But then fast forward to the week after that. Then this is how I got on with them. This one here, tough fixture for Spurs away against Newcastle, and plugged in De Bruyne, but he still come up with some decent AA. I didn't get promoted, didn't get relegated, just stayed where I was with that. And then the Fulham and the kind of Crystal Palace merge here. Didn't really work either, but again, I was safe in terms of division. And then moving on to this one was one that I threw together. And Anderson just made the move. I knew that he weren't really going to play, but I thought, can I claim a box in this? And I don't know whether I did or not. But with all of that being said, that brings us up to where we are now in terms of the international week. And I've done all right so far in terms of winning some boxes and stuff, but nothing in terms of that's going to claw back that £650. But the reason why I do like the limited division, and I kind of touched upon it at the beginning of this video, but it's not going to break the bank for me, and it allows me to, if I can just quickly get to these reward pools, is this going to work? Yeah, it is, maybe. Can I click into one of these? That's better. If I can claw my way into Division 2 and Division 3 and have a couple of, top 20 finishes, etc., you got your $40 coming back. I'd like to think over the next 36 game weeks that I can get some boxes, maybe some market credits, and start to claw that back. And the outlay that I'd have had to done that for rare, yes, the rare prizes are bigger, but I wasn't prepared to lay out that money, especially with what's gone on with Sorare in the last kind of year or so. I put up a few tweets in the last few days, and I was like, well, one, I used to really like scouting, and yeah, you can do. I mean, Gator Guy called me out for it on the Sorare Data Show, but yes, you can still scout. But I used to like of a night time, kind of kids are in bed, you've eaten some dinner and stuff. Open up your laptop, and then you can scout some stuff for the weekend. And I almost feel as though to be a little bit more successful now, I do have to focus on the collection stuff. So I know that who I'm going to be buying. I can't just go out there and buy this Maverick and that Maverick. And you've got to have a little bit more, maybe strategy to it all. I don't know. Or if I had unlimited funds, maybe the scouting would be a little bit better where, I could go out there and just spend this on this one and not care about it. But I have to be a little bit more careful with what we're doing now, so that I can get some return of investment. And the other tweet that I put out there was, this time last year, I was buying a lot of, it's going to be tough for me to kind of find this out individually, but my gallery was high-end rares and super rares. And if we look at it now there's a few cards in there that, like James Rodriguez that I picked up for the international, Mariki and Vargas and stuff, and I'll come on to that at the end. But it's predominantly limited, and then my old rares. The La Liga one that I've built a couple of couple of sides there because I knew that my Challenger guys, my MLS guys wasn't going to be playing in the next few months and stuff. But apart from that, it's just been the cards that I've had for quite a while, the rare ones, the old classic ones. And that's it. I've got one super rare. Vito is actually coming back to the Eredivisie, so hopefully I can sell him. But as I said, I had maybe 20, 25 super rares, and it feels strange to go back from super rare, considering that they want you to progress from, when I say they, so rare, to progress from the limited to the rares into so rares, get bigger galleries vertically and horizontally, etc. And I felt like I was actually moving there, but the goalpost move, the game change, and yeah, you have to adapt and go with it. And I think that limited in season for me in a league that I kind of know quite well, and obviously been playing Sorare for a while now, that I can capitalize on a little bit, especially with the European nights. It's not something that those £650, I think that I can get that back over the year. And if you don't agree with me, leave a comment down below as to why you don't think I will with the cars that I've bought. But I think that I can get there or thereabouts. And the reason why I call this, or I state on the video that this is a 2-year plan, is because now I've got this collection bonus going with Spurs. And let me bring this up. So I don't know if you can see that. Let me scroll down a little bit. As soon as I let go, it's going to fling back up. But you'll see just under my video there that I'm actually on nearly the 4%. I've got 70 points to go. And in 90 days, I don't know how many, I've got 15 cards. So I'm going to get another 150 points, right? So it gets me a lot closer to that 5%er. And I wasn't planning on doing that. And with the event that's coming next week, which Nicholas has already tweeted out about in terms of unwrapping all of these, maybe I can get some special cards in there as well. Maybe a jersey mint or two on some of these cards. But I plan on picking up the rest as well. The big one that I haven't got at the moment is Romero. But going back to that 2-year plan is because at the end of this year, yes, I might not be able to use these in season, but I would have built up a lot of XP. I'd be surprised if I don't max out most of these into 10 XP in terms of XP, but also have the 5% collection bonus, so that when we walk into next year or we start next year, I've got a really good XP to give me the best chance possible in classic competitions, because there's going to be an extra 600-700 cards of all of these players, so it's going to be more difficult, and you need to give yourself the best chance as you possibly can. So who knows that I can claw some in-season cards out of that, rewards or boxes, etc., and add on to that. So that's why I'm saying yes, it's a bit of a longer goal. It's not you throw some stuff in there, the game of old, so to speak. You'd throw in a couple of grand, you'd buy some of the best players, and then all of a sudden you just needed to win 2 or 3 different cards because they was priced quite heavily or quite high. You can have that return of investment quite quickly. Well, I know that I can't do that now, and the game's changed, and it is becoming more of a game. So if it's becoming more of a game, I'm going to do something that's well within my means, which it was in the end anyway, but change my mindset a little bit, because I need to realize that that's not going to happen anymore. Even if I win a limited Mbappe, that's not going to change the world. Back in the day, a rare Mbappe was like 20 grand or something like that, which you can obviously do a lot with. We're not in that world anymore, and I get it, and sometimes it's struggle to understand that, or at least live with it, and but we have to move on. And I think that for me, these limited collections are gonna stand me in the best place in terms of getting some of these rewards. So far with everything, and let me just I haven't got it on this laptop, but 3 game weeks, and I've won 4 boxes, and I think I've won around what have I won? I think I've won around 12 essence. So I'm building that up. I'm not going to spend my essence for a little while. I think I at least want to get to this tier 3 spot, so it might take a few weeks to do so. If I don't get excited and obviously pull the trigger before then. And I'm still doing the rare stuff as well. I've still got the La Liga cards. I don't know whether I'm going to do something like, and let me just bring this up as well. and this might be a bit of a longer video, and as I said, a little bit all over the place, but I've just hit the record button, and let's just go with it. So if I do league, let's talk about La Liga. Now some of these cards have plummeted since I bought them as well, but okay, is what it is. But like a Griezmann, does this quality of gallery for La Liga rare, should I have a Griezmann in there? I mean, if I sell him for 110, 120 quid, that could actually fund a little bit more into the collection. Maybe that would be a good way to go. But the other thing that I've been thinking about as well is to go into La Liga Limited and do the same as what I'm doing with Premier League. You know, there's a few teams out there, and I'd kind of look, if I spell this actually correct, you know, for somebody like Seville, now they haven't had a good start, but they've got a really good stack here in terms of Nyland, Barco that's come in, Bade, their Lokanga, and this guy as well, who scores really, really well in terms of AA. So maybe I start a collection for Seville. And yes, you're competing against Real Madrid stacks, you're competing against Barcelona stacks and stuff, but they don't smash every single week. Now, when they do, you're going to be obviously down the leaderboard a little bit. But Seville, the way that they're trying to play this year, you've also got Saul in here, who didn't play here because he got sent off. But maybe that's somewhere to go. Or maybe it's a team like, you know, I focused on Fulham, Palace and Spurs, in Premier League. Maybe it's like this one, a Villarreal, because you've got Ayoze Perez as your forward, you've got Danny Parejo, you've also got the guy who takes all of their set pieces, Alex Baena, I've said that wrong, Cardona there as well as a left back. Now, a little bit unsure on their goalkeeper, but maybe that's another stack. Maybe another team to actually look at as well is somebody like a Real Betis, who, again, similar to Spurs, plays in the Europa Conference, I think it is, or Europa League, one of them. So you got Fornals. Lo Celso has just went over there as well. Natan's a good scorer. Diego Llorente, Rui Silva. You know, I think that I would enjoy it more by having these and actually have a better return of investment is what I'm trying to get to. So I don't think that I made a mistake with buying these rares in La Liga, because I've had fun watching Iago Aspas at 37 or whatever he is still absolutely slap, and Silerson doing well again, and Sergio Gomez, the defender card at Real Sociedad, doing really, really well. But maybe I sell a Griezmann, maybe I pick up a couple of cards for like a tenner each or whatever, and see where this takes me, and then focus a little bit more on the limited side. Because as I said earlier, and I've lost the page now, but as I said earlier, I think that if you get in Division 2, etc., you start clawing those 50, 60, 70s pounds that you can. You're obviously getting more boxes in the in-season. You're building up your essence. You might strike gold with your essence. Who knows? I think that's a better way that I'm going to play the game. Now, with all that being said, we still have the MLS cards that I've got going on. So let me go into here, and what you'll see in my gallery is that I've got some of the best ones, which is obviously very, very good for me. We've got a Messi there who should be coming back from injury. We've got the likes of Brooks Lennon. We've got Ricky Puig. We've got Pancil, Rossi, Wagner, Insigne, Hill, Clark, etc. And I'm hoping in the next, I think there's about 6 or 7 games left of the MLS, and then it'll go into the playoffs. I'm hoping that I can win some stuff there. I've got some in-season stuff. I've got Acosta, I've got Evander, etc. So maybe that would then open the gates if I could win a couple of cards there, a couple of in-season, sell them to fund other areas, and then again train all of these guys over the winter period, so that when they come back, they're all on 10 XP, and maybe then I need to pick up 1 or 2 cards in the classic collections for like their teams in order to build up the XP for them as well, to give me a really good chance in classic. So I think that there's a few strategies that going around in my head at the moment. One is obviously limited Premier League in season, potentially going into La Liga in season limited as well. I've already got the classic La Liga. cards, and I've also got Challenger in season / Classic going on at the moment. But I do think the direction of travel for me is I need to build as much XP on my cards as I possibly can, and play the competitions where I feel as though it's not gonna expose me a little bit, or I've got the best chance of winning, I think, is where I'm going to go with it. So yeah, a 2-year plan on those limiteds for sure. And it might be, I say all of that, and it might be that it's a 2-year plan, but maybe at the end of the season, I just sell them off. Maybe I've clawed back £500 with all of those limited cards. And then all of a sudden I just turn around and say, somebody offers me 150, and I go, do you know what? Yeah, have the lot. Let's start again. Let's go in season again and see if I can hit that jackpot a couple of times. Hit a grand here, a grand there, podium, get into those Division 1s, get more boxes, get more essence, etc. Maybe that's the direction of travel. I'm not too sure yet, but I am looking at this as though like it's a 2-year deal almost, unless prices rocket and stuff, and then maybe I'll sell it all again and start again, right? But that's where I am. And I still need to pick up a couple more. Now, what you're seeing in here, what I touched upon earlier about La Liga Limited, I picked up these guys having that thought in process, and I wanted to play the international nights this week, mainly because I already had Munoz, I already had a few other players like Dragusin, etc., who was playing a couple of games this game week. And if I show you what I've done, let's go into here. And let's go into live. So my all-star rare team, and I'm not expecting amazing things from this at all, but Griezmann's wearing the captain's armband there. He's got 2 games. I don't know if he's going to play tonight, but I think that he plays one of the games. So let's see what happens. Seattle boys, the rolled-on boys there, come in. And now they've got a tough match against Columbus Crew, but Crew have got a few players that are missing. We've got Trivitsky. Terrible with names, and Zelarayan comes back into the gallery after a long time. So let's just see what happens with that. I'm not expecting amazing things, but Fighting Special was an interesting one for me, because when I had a look at my gallery and I went to stats, and I don't know if people know that you can do this, I'm assuming you do, but if you go to your gallery and you hit stats and you scroll down a little bit, you just see the players that are in your gallery, and I didn't actually know that. So, but when I went and done this, I saw Benteke there at the top of the list, and I saw this guy at the top of the list, and I saw Click at the top of the list, and I thought, you know what? Maybe I've got a decent chance in terms of fouls. Even in terms of yellow cards, Benteke picks up quite a few, and we're doing L15 here, by the way. And I know that Click does, because in the past when he was in the Premier League, I actually won a decent amount of money by betting on him to be booked. So I threw this team together, and I picked up Dorsey at the last minute as well. I actually bought the wrong card. I bought the midfielder card off from the Penfairs for like £2, but then I just flipped it with Pavel to go and get the defender card, which the defender card was on there for a £5 or something. So maybe that was the right way of doing it. But Dorsey picks up yellow cards and fouls. Steve Clark likes a little bit of time wasting as well. So yeah, I'm optimistic about this, actually, really optimistic about this team. I look at this and I think that 4 out of 5 could definitely get booked. So we'll see what happens there. And then this is where I'm talking about international nights, because I picked up James Rodriguez because I've already got Munoz. They're playing for Colombia. I then thought about picking up Luis Diaz, as I spoke earlier about having a classic Premier League card that I could plug into some of these in-season stuff. Diaz was one that I was thinking about. And it was like £15 or something, and I think his in-season was 60 odd quid. But then I thought, well, no, I've already got De Bruyne, so let's use him. I was unsure on whether I was going to be like, Diaz is going to rotate a lot this year, and maybe Salah isn't. So maybe Salah would be the classic card to get into for my in-season teams anyway. So I picked up James Rodriguez, and I picked up Mercury as well. Mariki. And if you look at Mariki, he scores really well. He plays for Kosovo. He starts up top, and he's capable of some decent scores and getting some goals. So yeah, I picked him up. He's got a double game week, and again, he's playing Cyprus. If he starts, I'd like to think that he scores a goal or two for his country. But again, with the longer term vision of, look, if I go into La Liga Limited, James Rodriguez now playing there as well, he's going to absolutely smash, or I think that he will, and Mariki does as well. So then I had those four, and I thought, well, if I'm going to be doing that, then let's just buy the in-season goalkeeper. Vargas comes in, and I can just stack it with it. So that brings this to one team, and then we've got the other one over here, which is a bit of a throwaway because I don't know if Vicario is going to be playing. Donnarumma's definitely going to play game one. Whether Vicario comes in the second game, I'm not sure. Dragosin has 2 games. Brennan Johnson and Ben Davies are going to be playing for Wales. They've got 2 games, and it looks like Eze might be playing in the number 10. I think it's between him and Gibbs White as to who plays there for England against Ireland. Now, moving down, this is where I think that I'm really strong in this team here. I'm in Division 1. It's Challenger Classic. They're all got, Steve Clark's got 10% on him. Herrera has, Hill has, Rossi has, and I think Yaymar's got 12% as well. Obviously, with the captain bonus on Hill, I think he'll get 60% of on top of what he scores. So I'm expecting some decent things out of this lineup. I'm really excited about it. And then I've got an in-season lineup here that I kind of just threw together and see what happens with it. And then I've done my training. So it's not a bad game week for me, but as you can see, in terms of limited, like my direction of travel, picking up these guys is that, La Liga is probably going to be my next move, La Liga Limited, but I don't want to be depositing anymore. So I do need a couple of wins in order if I'm going to follow through with that. And that pretty much probably brings you up to exactly where I am, exactly where I'm thinking. But yeah, you're looking at this collection. I really didn't think I was gonna do this. And as I said, I instant bought Son and Maddison, etc. And looking back, if I knew that I was going to do this a full collection, that's definitely not the way that I would do it. No way. But we are where we are. I need to pick up a few more players and see what's going on. As for next week, whilst we're here, we might as well talk about it. I don't think that I've got a team that I can really put out there. I mean, Vargas plays, I know that. Munoz will play, but they're playing Argentina. James Rodriguez will play, so I've got a nice little Colombian stack. We've got Son in there, and maybe, I don't know if any of these play. Maybe it's somebody like a Zelarayan, a rare card coming into limited, and that's basically it. But then we come into the Premier League again. And I'm really excited about playing Premier League fantasy, football, not FPL, but absolutely on Sorare. I'm excited about playing it and watching it as well. Brings a bit of excitement back to that league for me, considering that I've been focused heavily on the MLS and stuff in the past. So yeah, let's see how we get on. Leave a comment down below. Do you think that I'm making the right choice by going into there? This 2-year plan. I'm going to keep you updated as to where I am in terms of that 650 that I've spent, which I'll probably go up to about 800 in total when I pick up those classic cards. And let's see if this season I can then scrape some of that or get some return of investment, get some money back in, and see where the game takes us. Next week's going to be an exciting one, I think. There's a couple of announcements or a couple of things that's happening. Nicholas had his little famous emoji on his tweet to see what's going on now. I think that's going to be the Premier League kind of a rivals, maybe an individual kind of competition to rival FPL. But I don't know. I've not heard anything, no inside information or anything like that, obviously, because I am a no one anyway. But we are going to be able to unveil and take off the wrappers to all of our players that we've bought that are in season. So there'll be another video coming out about that as well. Hopefully I can pick up some nice dynamic images, some nice jersey mints, maybe a one-off here and there. Who knows? But yeah, I'm actually looking at this and I'm not sharing it, but there we go. That's what I was looking at. That's why I weren't looking at the camera. yeah, I'm hoping to get a little something when we unbox all of these. But an unboxing video will be coming in the future anyway. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you want to see some more, hit the subscribe button. And as always, guys, I'll see you in the future.